She deserves to have her happy ending.
So you're a liar.
Could Scream 7 be Sidney Prescott's last? The film is approaching, and with that is news of a large cast. Among them is the legendary final girl Sidney Prescott, portrayed by Neve Campbell. But the question I have is, could Scream 7 be her last? Let's talk about it. Welcome back, I'm Sippin and I have some reasons why Scream 7 could and just might be her final time fighting Ghostface. Stay till the end of the video to learn the most damning reason. But let's take a quick moment for my comment shout out. Thank you Naoki's TV for your comment, I appreciate it. Lastly, just in case, I thought it would be appropriate to have a possible spoiler warning for the movie, as I might be right on the money. Now, let's discuss Scream 7 and where Sidney Prescott fits into it and beyond. First and foremost, I personally believe if this movie makes as much money as I think it will, then it'll be the start of yet another trilogy. Now that statement alone makes this video seem kinda invalid, so stay chill and I will see you next time. Nah, I'm messing.
I'm joking. I'm joking.
But in all actuality, I believe it would be a disservice to not mention the fact that I believe Sidney will not die. At least not in Scream 7. Again, possible spoiler warning, but in an interview with The Hollywood Reporter, she said, "I think it is important that she never becomes a victim in these movies. She does represent a certain amount of strength and lack of victimhood, and that means a great deal to people." I've had a lot of people come up to me in the past and just say that she inspired them in some way or helped them in their lives in some way, which is not what you normally expect when you're performing in a horror film. I certainly would hate to see Sidney fall. I think it would be the wrong message. So she won't die, but that doesn't mean the end of Sidney Prescott. I think if they plan to truly continue the franchise after the 7th installment, then it's not a matter of if, but a matter of when Sidney's story ends. Does that mean she'll bite the dust? Probably not. One reason we might see the end of Sidney Prescott is the simple fact that Neve Campbell, the actress who portrays Sidney, is now on her 6th Scream movie and may want to begin moving on from the franchise and retiring her role as the most badass final girl in all of fiction. That's not just my opinion, it's my thoughts as well. Neve, as you may know, was not in Scream 6 due to a pay dispute, and she rightfully stood up for herself. But now with Scream 7, she was one of the first castings to be announced, as she was thrilled to be working with the legendary Kevin Williamson again. So take that, and the fact that she allegedly loved the concept of the film, she was more than happy to reprise her role. I'm happy too, but what if this is her swan song?
What? Oh, hell no! That's hell no! Whoa!
Hear me out.
Shut your fucking mouth!
Since back in Scream 5, we have known about Sidney and her family. We learned that after the events of Scream 4, she married a man named Mark, no, not you, and had kids. That said family will make their first appearance in the upcoming entry. And I personally don't believe everyone is safe in that family. Again, possible spoiler warning here, but yeah, Sidney isn't going to die, but I think old Mark, her husband, will. Especially since she's married to Mark the random ass dude and not Mark McDreamy cop.
Hold up, pause.
Wait, no, I mean, no, like his hospital name, no, like the show where he's McDreamy? No, wait.
Hello, everybody. This is a message from Ty Sippin and me, Dewey.
Please subscribe, like, etc., share with your friends, and enjoy all the incredible horror movie content. My friend Ty's channel. Thank you.
Okay, so yeah, I think Mark the husband will meet his end in Scream 7. This could cause tons of grief and despair that could take a hefty toll on Sidney. Maybe nearing the end of the film, she has a complete breakdown and needs to escape completely. Maybe similar to Scream 3, she tries to run away and lives completely off the grid, no longer able to be found. But I don't know how much I could see that happening, and let me tell you why. Her kids. She's supposed to have 3 kids now.
Are you not ashamed of yourself? Are you not embarrassed? This is really embarrassing.
And I could see Scream following in the footsteps of other horror franchises as of late. Hear me out. Halloween 2018. A revival of a franchise where the leading woman begins passing the torch. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2022. A movie of all time that passed the torch. And even Scream itself. Scream 5 revived a resting franchise and begun passing the torch. Maybe Scream 7 begins that process, but in a more finished manner. Now, the Carpenter sisters could have been that, but with everything that's happened and Jenna being busy filming Wednesday, we won't see that path come to fruition. But will we see it with Sidney's own blood? Maybe one of Sidney's daughters becomes the new final girl of the Scream franchise moving forward. Nev and most of us don't want to see Sidney meet her end. It would be a complete disservice to the fans, the character, the world of Scream, just everybody. Sidney Prescott has fought off numerous mass assailants and came out unscathed, more or less, every single time. As sad as it is, her reign will have to end eventually. I mean, as they say, time waits for nobody.
I'm sorry.
So it's something we need to prepare for, because like I've been saying, it's a matter of when. So maybe Scream 7 plans to set this all into motion. Maybe by the end of the movie, they let Sidney finally get her happy ending and find peace with everything.
She deserves to have her happy ending.
And then they begin focusing on her daughter as the new final girl who gets the yearly attacks. There is that plot hole that, well, if her kid was being targeted, wouldn't Sidney get involved and get her hands dirty? And my answer to that is shut up. Nah, it's a valid point that would have to be thought of ahead of time by the writers, as we would need a solid reason. But maybe the daughter moves away from her family after the events of Scream 7 because she believes her mom is cursed, when maybe the curse is hereditary. She simply is the next step in the series of very unfortunate events. Like, very unfortunate. This is a way to write Sidney out without having to kill her character off. She's having her peace while her daughter is in some random town fighting another wave of killers. Do you mess with that idea? It's basic and not fleshed out, but I low-key think it could have legs. Comment down below if you could see something similar. One more route they could go just for the fun of the game before we talk about the most damning reason I have as to the possibility of her exit. Now before that, another route they could go that writes her out of Scream 8 is that following the events of 7, Sidney believes she's going to always keep her family in the crosshairs, and in order to keep them safe, she leaves. She just straight up cuts ties with everyone and leaves as an attempt to leave them all safe. Or most of them. Sorry about it, Mark, you're still cooked in this one, man.
There's no way out of this one. You're done.
I don't mess with this scenario, but hey, just had to toss it out there. You may mess with it heavy, let me know. Time for my most damning reason that could lead to her retirement. And spoilers, while it's separate, it does mix with a few of the other reasons I've mentioned before. Now, it can also work on its own, don't get me wrong. It just kind of gets aided by the other theories and whatnot as it adds more layers. Let me explain. What is Scream known for being? Goated? Why yes, but I was leaning towards how the franchise is meta. The fact that seemingly every older horror franchise has the OG final girl passing the torch to the younger generation, giving the series a new final girl to begin focusing on. Like I stated earlier, Halloween has done this, TCM has done this as well. I mean dude, even Saw did it at one point with Mark Hoffman, but they didn't really want to have to, they just kind of made a mistake. But do you see what I mean? Many franchises are doing it, so it could be a strat Scream goes for in order to continue being meta while allowing for the creation of countless movies, for better or worse. I mean, it is kind of becoming the new norm these days. I mention this because, like another reason I mentioned, the end of her character will have to happen eventually. But will it be soon? Could Scream 7 be Sidney Prescott's last? Maybe. Personally, it's a lot more likely now that we are being introduced to her daughter. But at the end of the day, it's all just speculation and theorizing. My final verdict on if Scream 7 will be her last, I'm gonna have to go no. I don't see it being far off, maybe Scream 8, but I think Nev herself has more in the tank and wants to be a part of the series for a little longer. Maybe they take another page out of the Halloween world and have her stick around a little more to allow the fans to slowly grow accustomed to the idea of a new final girl. Maybe we can see Sidney in Scream 7 and 8 as she teaches and aids her daughter, the growing lead of the franchise. Who knows? Only time will tell, but what do you think? Could Scream 7 be Sidney Prescott's last? Does she have more in the tank? Let me know your thoughts and more down in the comments, and on that note, be prepared as you might just be the comments shout out in the next video. Scream 7 has always been my favorite franchise, so I can't lie, I'm always excited to talk Scream. What about you? Do you enjoy the theories of the Scream universe? Well, if that's the case, you should check out my video where we discuss different theories from the internet. To check that out, click here. Stay chill, and I will see you next time.